you cook oxtails right, the meat's gonna fall off the bone. But
Yeah.
it's like nothing. It's nothing like when you have to pick that oxtail up with two fingers, and really go to work to.
Life can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, 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 what do you know? Welcome to the Bowl Podcast. Shout out to Hustle 5 Ways for hosting. I'm your host, Naz.
It's your guy, Tallman.
And as always, in the Bowl Podcast is powered by your nation's #1 owned mobile hookah provider, CCTU, where they not only do private events, they wholesale, they do distribution, and they take that experience to the next level. What's going on?
Oh, man, not too much, man. Another week. It's
Yes,
a lot
sir.
going on. It's a lot that's happened. I know we got a ton of topics here, man. I feel like Tom Brady in the pocket, man. Just so many different targets. We can we can sling that ball too, man. But all is well, man. How about you, man? How's the weather in DC? How's the heat wave? How's the rain? How's the storm? How is summer 2022 winding down, coming to an end? How's everything going, man? How's life?
Life is amazing. Can never complain. You can, but who's gonna listen?
Facts.
Nah, but life is good, dude. Life is great. This weather though, I still will say is wild. It seems like every day we got weather. I'm learning about weather so much. I'm learning when the low pressure comes in, bringing the cold front. With the hot air, going to make now the rain come on. Just shit happens every day. I just feel like I might as well become a weatherman and shit. I only got to be right 50% of the chance. So hey, it may rain today. Just wear shorts and have an umbrella with you. You'll be good. You'll figure it out.
Man, that is wild, man. Because, I still have for some reason, the DC weather forecast, still shows up on my map, and all I see is hot, humid, and storms. I'm like, man, it's like they're getting tagged like every other day, man. And
Yeah,
folks
it's
getting
getting crazy.
struck by lightning. I'm like, it's wild out there.
Yo, it's super wild. It's the fact that what was that? I guess that was what, Sunday? I think it was, or no, Saturday. Friday, matter of fact, yep, it was Friday. An elderly couple got killed, got struck by lightning. And it's wild out here, man. It's just the way the world is right now, right? And even before we get into that, what I'm saying? Because we even talk about how this Earth is rotating faster than normal, right? So we gotta, time's flying, and it's wild out here. But before we do that, as we always do, we gotta do our another day, another celebration, another reason just to be happy, just to be here.
Yes, sir.
Cheers,
Cheers.
But life is
that
good,
whole
man. Took the
what'd you say?
and you said you got a whole what?
Nah, I'm just saying, man. It's wild with that whole Earth spinning faster and the days are getting shorter. I'm like, man, it's one thing after another, man. You can't have a day with just good news. It's like every day it's something wild that life and the media is throwing at you, man. No matter what kind of day you're having, they got something to top it off. Like, oh, you think your day's wild? But wait, one second. Let me tell you about this right here, man. It's interesting.
Keep you on your toes, right? And you're right? It's so much wild stuff. You know how we always talk about when we kick off the show, we talk about what we done and how the week and stuff was. It's like I think every day I just wake up and realize more and more. It's like, should I give a shit? Just do what I gotta do. Make shit happen, make things happen. Think about self and what means the most to me, family. You know what I'm saying, and taking care of self, right? And so, you know, over the weekend, take the little one out to the beach, you know, just get her out for a little bit. And, you know, the big discussion in the household is, do we get swim lessons, right?
Mm.
And so, you know, they always say, you know, the firstborn is like the father, right?
Yeah.
And I will say that, you know what I'm saying? My little girl is just like me. Like, she will take her risk, right? And she'll jump out on a leap of faith, right? So took her out there and took her to the pool, right? And so she's been in the pool multiple times. She's been in beach. She's been, you know, she's done her thing. Never swim lessons though. And everyone's like, no, you gotta take her to get real swim lessons. We'll figure that out. Cause I was always taught, I got thrown in the pool and I had to swim back. So I only had two options: either swim or drown, sink or swim. So, you know, now granted, we may have been a little bit older, but she's what, 15, 16 months now.
Yeah.
So we was in the pool, and I was like, you know what? I just want to see, because I've been watching these videos of how, you know, kids been obviously the womb in a body of water for, you know, 9 months roughly, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
And she did what was expected. So what I did was I slowly tried it, and you know, we've been taking her like little splash pads and some other stuff like that, just so she can feel like she's really been underwater. But we took her in this pool. Like I was like, fuck it, man. I'm just gonna dip her in the water and see how she feels. You know.
Okay.
I think there's only two things that can happen. She either smiles or she comes up, you know, spazzing, you know, just wailing. I dipped her in the water and she was straight. She came up like a straight champ. And then, you know, I kept on doing that for the first day. Then the second day, I started diving her head first, see how she felt about that. You know, and even going on my cadence, right? She started being like, ah. And even though she can't talk yet, she's like, she knows the cadence, right? And there's the rhythm.
Yeah.
So I was like 1, 2, 3, and she'll be ready. So then at 3, she started closing her eyes. I'm like, all right, she's picking it up.
Yeah.
So then finally, I set her on the ledge, and I was like, all right, let's see what she does. Again, she did the unexpected. She jumped out there.
Hey, no fear.
You know, no fear, and I loved it. You know, I loved it. So it was cool. Moments like that are I think are really the most meaningful now, because it's too crazy out here, man. Every day you wake up, you just hear something that's just like someone just hating on somebody, someone just mad at life, someone taking out other people, you know, mass shootings, you got diseases, you got killer bees, you got monkeypox, you can't even touch folks, you know what I'm saying? You got COVID, you know, and you got all your other shit you got to deal with too. So, you know, I'm just learning.
Wow.
So you just got to embrace it, man. That's one thing I think I just continue to realize, you know.
Nah, man, you're right. And one of the things is, you remember back in the day, man, that, you know, I know for some folks this is gonna sound kind of wild, but you remember back in the day, it used to be like 3 television channels. You know, it was ABC, CBS, and NBC. You know, the news came on at set times during the day. You know, you got a little morning show. You may have got something midday before the soap operas came on, and then you got your evening and nightly news. But I think now with, you know, news being, you know, 24 hours a day, and, you know, with social media and the internet, it's like anytime you go to do something on your phone, it's like, you know, you're constantly bombarded, you know, with just news, man. So I'm trying to find a way to, you know, I started turning off, you know, some of these notifications, man, because it's like you'll be checking your bank account and you get a alert from the New York Times, such and such happened. It's like, you know, you need a moment to kind of, you know, unplug from that, because they're constantly, you know, just throwing something at you. And I know some people, you know, from what I hear, you know, it can be overwhelming, you know, because it's like a constant, you know, bombardment of just bad news. Because I mean, very rarely, you know, that you get some good news that pops up, because everything is clickbait these days, you know. So my goal for September, you know, because August is, you know, we're just about halfway done with August, man. But I'm about to turn off a lot of those notifications, man. You know, you got to take control back
Yeah.
of the narrative, because it's just too many wild things going on, man.
It's so wild, man. I opened the phone the other day, you know what I'm saying? And I know the big talk right now is is that nurse, right? Who I guess had an issue with the spouse, with the boyfriend, or whatever he was, and she's driving 100 miles an hour through a red light through a busy intersection.
Yeah, that was
You know what I'm
crazy.
saying? And kills what, 6 people? One lady's
Yeah,
pregnant and a child.
yeah.
And it's just like, damn, you don't even know if you want to go out and drive. You don't know if you want to go to the store. And they even got stuff out now talking about anxiety of people just going somewhere, not just knowing if it's going to be their last trip. You
Nah,
go to the grocery store. Shit crazy.
yeah, it is, and I mean, every day it's like we're finding out more and more about this young lady's background, and and I'm not trying to downplay mental health and all that stuff, but looking at the facts, this chick has been in 13 previous accidents.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it, while heading to lunch, and we're like, how does she even have insurance? You didn't total 2 cars, you've been in 13 accidents. You know, who is insuring you, and what is your premium? Because I mean, at some point, somebody has to say, look, man, you may need to just, step back for a minute and, take an Uber, take public transit.
Like a bus.
Man, you can get a scooter. It's so many other ways that you can get around right now where, I mean, driving is really a privilege.
Yeah.
And if you're showing that you're that much of a harm to yourself and others, man, you need not be behind the wheel because
Yeah.
13 accidents, I'm like, you're in double digits. And I think the lady was like her mid 30s, give or take. I mean, so I mean, you figure you start driving at the age of 16. So that means she's averaging an accident every 2 years, give or take.
Yeah, shit crazy, man. It's just, I don't know, but also like you say, I think it also goes to, you should take it with mind state, right? You should figure out, when people get driver's license or renew them, you should have to, just like you have to get a handgun, right? You could buy it, but it takes you like 10 days to actually get it. You should take a couple of days to make sure you're mentally stable to have a license, because there's just some people out there that should not be behind the wheel.
No,
And it's sad that I had to get to this point to where, maybe someone revokes their license. Because after, you said, after 13 citations like this, like, when's enough?
exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things, again, just tough, man. It's tough that, again, people are just losing their lives every day, just doing an everyday routine.
Yeah, man. I mean, just walk up the door, man. You never know. What can happen. It's crazy, but that's the reality we live in.
Yeah. So even for that, that's why you just gotta toast it up, man. You just gotta just be grateful for another moment, another second, another day. You know what I'm saying? Another breath. And for all the bullshit, just get that shit to the side and just appreciate what you got.
I agree, man. And speaking of being grateful and living in the moment, your folks in Houston are kind of killing me, man. I got a little chip on my shoulder, man. I'm seeing people do some of the wildest things to oxtails. It's like, I mean, oxtails, 10 years ago, it was, traditional dish. You got it with a side of rice and peas. You may have a little veggie or something. You may have some cocoa bread. But now, I saw a spot in Houston that has oxtail mac and cheese sandwiches.
That's a lot.
Exactly. And I'm like, when are we at the point of just going too far with something? I mean, I know everybody is looking to be innovative in the kitchen and, do something different, but, when is enough enough?
Yeah, no, that's a bit much, man. Mac and cheese on a sandwich, like I just feel like that's already a little bit overstep right there.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. The oxtail, I mean, is obviously, so I had a sandwich before where it had a bone in the center. So Dominicans have like this chicken sandwich that comes with a bone in the middle of it, right? Like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, like I chewed into it, I almost chipped my tooth. Because when you have a sandwich, you don't think about a bone, right?
Nah.
The fuck's the point of having a sandwich? Just call it open face or something. Like, just leave it alone. Just add the piece of chicken. That shit blew me. So it makes me ask, in this oxtail, they chopping it up like steak? Are they putting like shreds in it? Like, what are they doing?
Man, I don't know, man. You know, respect to whoever's back in the kitchen, you know, pulling the oxtail off the bone, man. Because, you know, you cook oxtails right, you know, the meat's gonna fall off the bone. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know, nothing. It's nothing like, you know, when you have to, you know, pick that oxtail up with two fingers, you know, and really, you know, go to work to, you know, get the oxtail off, you know. So I mean, I like the convenience aspect of it. Of okay, hey, here's all the oxtail all at once. But at the same time, it's like I said, man, it's certain things that you just need to leave alone. You know, I mean, everything doesn't need to be turned into a sandwich. Everything doesn't need mac and cheese. It's a staple. And like I said, you know, I'm not knocking, you know, the individuals that are trying to be, you know, creative and, you know, push the envelope with things. Because, I mean, creativity and experimentation is what moves us forward. But it's just getting too wild, man.
Yeah, and I hear you. But I'm glad the way you delivered that message, because I feel like that message could have. You're about to have to say pause a couple times, good buddy. But
No, no, you know, I walked a fine line. I was very cognizant of my wordplay, my word, and even my facial expressions. You know,
yeah,
I did not want to allude to anything else. You know, I wanted to, you know, there was no pausing for dramatic effect. It was like, hey, this is exactly how I feel about this situation.
and I think that's fair. But like I said, you're walking the thin line there when you start giving the description. You know what I'm saying? There's very choosy in words. So I hats off to you.
Hey, thank you, man. It was well thought out. You know, I prepared for it. You know, I kind of rehearsed that speech.
There you go. There you go. Because that could have been a slippery slope right there. We're going to have to hit a whole bunch of boop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I tried to talk quick because, you know, I didn't want anything to kind of be broken up and pieced together. And, you know, I trying to protect my integrity over here, man.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, no, I feel you. I think I don't know. I think innovation is, you know, I think you got a time and place, and I think there's just certain meals that you should just keep original. You know,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It makes me just think about that. But you know, even talking about food, one thing I am mad about, I missed the Taco Bell wings. Right? I still don't know how that was. But then now Chick-fil-A is coming out. We're trying to come out with wings.
Oh yeah.
They only going to do it in 2 states. I'm trying to figure out what makes them want to do it in Tennessee and Atlanta. I'm just confused.
Well,
Atlanta,
you know,
maybe that's where they
yeah,
started off. Atlanta, I get
yeah,
that.
but so they came from Atlanta. Yeah.
So I get that. That's bullshit. I want to try them.
You know, ain't no love lost on Chick-fil-A. You know, you already know my 22 plus year uh disagreement or beef, you know, with Chick-fil-A, you know, so I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. But, you know, I know that, you know, you frequent, you know, Chick-fil-A, so I hope that, you know, you have an opportunity in the near future, you know, to sample whatever it is they're trying to throw at you.
We'll see if it makes it up this way. I'm not a big Atlanta person. Like, I don't know about Atlanta's cool, but you know, I'll wait till it comes up here. I'll put it like that. Nah, man, but and on a lighter news, I actually caught a little episode of your P Valley.
Oh man, yeah. It was a good week, man. So tell me your thoughts.
I only saw the one episode, or at least a segment of it, because it's a
Okay.
wild ass show.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
No, that's a wild ass show. So I saw the Megan Thee Stallion on there.
Yes.
That was intense.
Yeah. You know, she came out with you know, with Little Murder, man. It was good to see her making a cameo and, you know, hopping on stage and doing her thing. You know, I think it's one episode left in the season. So this weekend is the season finale. Because there are a lot of different stories that play going on with it, and I like how they have really incorporated COVID into it. I told you, when the season kicked off, they had like the strip club slash car wash, where Bama's were just in their car, and enjoying the strip club experience, in their own little COVID bubble, But it's definitely some twists and turns in there, man. It's interesting. I want to see how they tie everything up, the end off the season. But it's a solid show, man. The producer or executive producer or creator, I like how she's incorporating, a lot of things, from Memphis and from the slang and just, she's giving you an authentic experience, man.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, that thing is wild. It's a wild show, but it does show some authenticity there. So it's yeah, but I don't know, man. It's that song she even came out to, man. She was speaking some shit. That's a wild show, dog. That show right there is wild.
Yeah.
Makes you want to see what the rest of the season was like. So I don't know. I may have to engage and maybe start from the beginning and see what it's talking about. See how it gets up to that point.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, it's solid. I mean, P Valley is definitely in the top 5 of what you got to watch this week, man. So
I hear you. Okay.
Bittersweet.
What you say?
I said, it's a bittersweet, feeling because this is the last weekend until next summer. And next summer just seems so far away because we haven't even wrapped this summer yet. So it seems like a lifetime away, even though, in reality, the next 3 or 4 months, man, it's going to be summer all over again, man, because
life is flying.
Life is, it is. And no pun intended to the Earth spinning faster, but it's definitely, getting away from us.
Facts. Speaking of music, right? Recently, you know how they're talking about all these indictments with Thugger and Gunna,
Yeah, got another one on the way. Yeah.
Got another one on the way. So, it makes you think about music, about what you say, right? And then even with social media and stuff like that, right? So it's like people interpret your words and they can mix it up. So you got to be careful about what you say, because obviously what you say is going to, that's the perception that they have of you, right? Because whatever you paint, that's what they're going to think. So exactly. in the news now, they got, they talking about 21 Savage, talking about, when are we going to put the guns down? He's tired of deaths, murders. But people call him a hypocrite, though. Right? So it's a fine line as to, are we going to bash him for rapping something to make money, knowing that people are going to listen to it? So he's selling a product. People are buying it, and then you're going to call him a hypocrite, but then you're going to also turn around and say that Thugger and Gunner shouldn't be responsible for the words that they use, right? So it's a tough argument. And I can see both sides, but I don't think you should use it to indict them. So I'm going to make sure I make that clear. That's me personally. That's my own personal opinion. And, I don't think it should, hold you to a cross, nothing like that. But, I do feel that I think a lot of folks listen to music because you hope they're speaking some truth as to what they know about. So can you be mad for people for calling him a hypocrite, or you sit there and be like, does he actually do anything he raps about?
I think that whatever we see come from him musically next is that you can't solidify, calling him a hypocrite until you see what's next. Because I mean, a person can change. A person can look at, what they're doing and what they're saying and seeing how people are being impacted by it, and decide to say, hey, okay, I'm gonna switch things up now because things are getting too wild. Because and not to deviate, but it's truly tied to this. I get on YouTube, man. I went down. No, matter of fact, it wasn't even YouTube. I think it was Twitter. And you go down, a rabbit hole, and it was this dude who made a video about people coming to Atlanta, and he was like, kind of the do's and the don'ts. You know, because Atlanta, you know, of course, you know, they're breaking in cars down there. You know, they got people, you know, trying to go to the hood to go see, you know, what's what. And it's like, look, man, this ain't a game. You know, I mean, it's not Hollywood. You know, I mean, it's places out here where you know people are really living a certain way, and if you aren't, you know, from that neighborhood or from that community, you know, you really need to have your head in the swivel, or you shouldn't even be, you know, in those areas. Which you know, I totally get. You know, I mean, you know, you go to a city, you know, you hop on the big bus tour, the hop on, hop off tour. You know, I mean, they're not taking you to certain parts, you know, for a reason. You know, I mean, it's not like, you know, you're going to a museum or, you know, you're going to the zoo or something like that. You know, you gotta respect people's environments. And
Yeah.
you have also have to have situational awareness, you know, where you can't if you drive a certain kind of car or if you're at the gas station and people are getting, you know, greeted at the gas station in a unfriendly manner. You know, I mean, you gotta be smart about things. So with what he's saying, you know, I mean, I kind of get it. You know, he has an impactful voice, and he's trying to. It appears though, you know, he's trying to, you know, reach certain people and you know say, hey, look, man, we really need to, you know, watch the way we're doing things, and you know, we trying to change it up. But until this man puts out something else, now if he comes right back next week with a freestyle, you know, talking about, you know, he's riding in zone six with his chopper and this and that. It's like, all right, man, you know, that's truly a hypocritical statement because now you're saying one thing, you're doing the exact opposite. But, you know, I don't blame the man. You know what I mean? Just look at the DMV, man. I mean, every other day, you know, you hear about, you know, carjackings and, you know, you got teenagers who are behind things. You got people, you know, stealing Kias and Hyundais with, you know, USB. You know, so I mean, it's a lot going on, and something has to change because you know this path we're on is not it's not a good path, man.
Yeah, man, it's wild out here, man. Even out here in the city, man, you got people, you know, dying left and right, getting shot. People just shooting on oncoming traffic. People shooting on the highway. People are stressed. You know, some people may listen to some of this messaging and you know and go about do that. So we gotta be choosy with those words.
Yeah,
You know, I think they are impactful. I think words do have power. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the way this world is, I don't know, man. I see it going far left.
exactly. And you know, while I was speaking about artists, man, there've been a couple of artists and you know celebrities in the news in the last you know week or two. I know last week we didn't get to Mystical. You know, I mean, the man has been arrested. You know, once again, you know, for an alleged rape. I think this is like the you know the third charge. Again, don't know all the details. You know, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to look at patterns. It's like, come on now, this is another charge again. You know, don't know, like I said, all the details of you know exactly you know what happened, and you know, I guess you know things will you know unfold when this man gets his time in court. But it's just you know a wild situation. You know, between that and you know Freddie Wap was arrested for you know waving a gun you know during a FaceTime call. You know, threatening to kill somebody. And again, it's like you know what you're putting out and what you're recording. It's like you know a lot of times you know individuals are putting themselves in unnecessary situations, man.
Yeah, but I think that last one was the dumbest shit in the world, though. Like, why the fuck there and be, you know, waving a gun on FaceTime and calling folks rat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what in your right mind would make that okay?
Yeah,
I'm confused. I'm like, I just don't get it.
no, I mean folks are getting too comfortable with social media, man. It's like, you know, you gotta remember, I mean, you put something out there, it's not going anywhere because there's a good chance somebody's gonna screen record something, you know, record a conversation, you know, anything. It's like you're just opening yourself up for, you know, more issues. Now you're, you know, arrested for that, you know, you probably get charged, have to go to court, and at the end of the day, you know, you have to look back and say, you know, was it really worth, greeting someone on FaceTime, with a weapon in your hand, threatening to kill them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think people are thinking about life right now. I don't think people are thinking like tomorrow's guaranteed. I think they just like really fuck it, right? I think people just, I just don't get some of the actions going on. You know what I'm saying? You got people, you know, driving 700 miles because, somebody's with somebody else now. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there stabbing, because you have somebody has a restraining order on you. So you're going to, a mother of 6 was killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, stabbed to death. You got, I mean, it's just fucking crazy out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people are fucking losing it. So I don't know, man. People out here wilding right now. People out here in a whole new world. It's just fucking reckless. And the social media is not helping it because some people think that like their social media they can turn it on and off and like they won't get caught or this, that, and the third. But they use that shit for evidence. You know what I'm saying? They sitting there, you got a recorded thing, and once it's out there on that web, it stays there. Somebody can always find it. It's never deleted.
Nah.
And I think people forget that. So I don't know, man. Times are just sad right now, you know what I'm saying? But there are some good things going on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's still football season about to start.
Yeah. Preseason's here. Soccer is back, man. It's again, I've said it a couple times, the word bittersweet, man. But when you start to see, football coming back on and soccer coming back on, it's it paints that picture that summer is coming to an end, and fall is upon us, and
Yeah.
all the trips and vacations and great weather is it's coming to a head, man. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy to see football coming back. I think, and I'm trying to say it correctly, so I'm politically correct. The Washington Commanders have a preseason game on this weekend. And I'm trying to do better this year with football. I'm glad the games. I think the preseason game is at 1 o'clock, so it's 9 o'clock here. So I'm like, all right, well, at least I can catch like the first half. 'Cause that's when the starters are in. And check it out then. So I'm trying to be better with doing that. 'Cause I know last year, man. When I got here, the playoffs. Games coming on at 3 in the morning. It's like, man, that was
Yeah.
that was an adjustment. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Usually, you watch the games. You may have a beer and some wings. I'm watching the games with a cup of coffee and a muffin.
Yeah. Fact. Now you in your PJs sleeping.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna go that far, but yeah, it's early in the morning.
I can dig it. I can dig it. Yeah, now you said it's into the summer, man. It's just that time of the year. But again, it's boys look good. It's our year as always.
Every year, same thing.
Every out, don't count out. Be in there. But I'm looking forward to the season. Definitely. Speaking of seasons, man, it's there's this big rumor. Like I said, social media is just wild, right? This big rumor that Breakfast Club is over. But in actuality, that's
Yeah,
social media. That's how they put it out there, right? But that's not actually what happened. You know what I'm saying? The
exactly.
Breakfast Club is still there, but that's why social media is just a problem. It's the devil. It's just like it just paints this like picture of what you think is glam and glitz and all that, and it doesn't even give you the full story of even how it built up to that and all. What I'm saying, all the other the meat of it, right?
Yeah,
So and actually, definitely hats off to Miss Lee on that one.
yeah. Big power move. I like it.
Big power move, you know what I'm saying? So it's actually a good thing, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's all love. Like it's cool. But again, it's social media painting a picture as if the Breakfast Club is done, it's the final season, it's over with, it's that and the third, when that is not the case.
Yeah. Whoever was doing their marketing, definitely wanted to get that show, out in the atmosphere, to get people, intrigued. Because, I mean, like I saw the tweet and I'm like, man. And, the first thing I started thinking is, the last interview that I saw, on the Breakfast Club, it was just, Charlamagne and DJ Envy. So naturally, you're like, oh man, is it beef? What's going on? Why wasn't Angela Yee there? Now she's putting out this information. And then, like you said, then you get the full story, and it's like, nah, it's good news. She's getting her own, nationally syndicated show. And, I mean, she's on every day, because she came from a radio background, because back in the day, I do remember her on Shade 45, on satellite radio, when she had her show. And, of course, she has, her podcast.
Yeah.
But it's just that perception of how they put it out. It's like for a good 12 hours, I'm in my mental state like, oh, man, that's it? Wow, what happened? Who did it? What's going on? What's the drama here? What's the beef? And come to find out it ain't none of that, man.
Truly is a good thing. It's all love.
And speaking of social media, so and I said that personally, I was not going to talk about Kanye West anymore and his relationship, because you got kids involved and things were just getting a little too wild. But the internet is saying that Kim and Pete have broken up. The relationship has now come to an end, after, X amount of months. And it's saying that Pete Davidson is in trauma therapy, following, being trolled by Kanye. And again, hats off to anyone, trying to get in contact, with their mental health and keep that balance. Definitely, not knocking that, but it's how things are presented to us. So you tell us that these people broke up, and right behind that, the same sentence, you're like, yeah, he's in trauma therapy.
Yeah, it's just wild, man. I think I don't know, man. I think it's and it makes me always ask, like, let me ask you a question. Do you think people's like, I know you got passion crimes and shit like that, but do you think like people really have their heart hurt?
Oh, you said the people have what?
Do people actually get their heart hurt, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is that a real thing, right? Is that a real thing where it's like my heart hurts? I know it could be heavy, you're just sad and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But like, I wonder if that's a real feeling, like someone saying, "Oh, my heart," and not having.
I think if you ask any teenager, who's gone through, heartbreak, for the first time, that they think that their world has come to an end, because it was this new feeling that I've never felt before, and now, I've just been crushed, So I mean, I think that that you can have heartache, but also I think that as you get older, you learn how to navigate those channels. And that's why, I mean, when you're 16, 17, 18, heck, even 21, and you go through a situation, I mean, how you handle something at 21 versus how you handle it at 42 should be, two different ways. I mean, if you're still, in your 40s and, you are going through the same thing at 16, I'm not knocking it. I don't understand it, because, you're supposed to be able to, learn and grow from different situations. But yeah, I mean, some people get emotionally invested in situations. I mean, totally different. I mean, like I say, folks with a heart on the sleeve. I think it all depends on the individual and how you handle things.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I'm not downplaying anyone's been through a breakup or lost somebody, anything like that, right? Because I do think you can get through a serious depression, right? And like you said, being in tune with your mental health and understanding that, whatever that situation is, there's light always at the end of that tunnel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And somebody once told me, they were just like, I was talking to them about something that I thought was real heavy and really big at that moment, right? And they made it real simple. And this was like, hey, just take a second and think about, the last thing you've been through, right? Think about the last time you ever made that same statement. It's like, oh, this is the worst situation I've ever been into. And then you're fast forwarding to this new situation that's now is also the new worst thing you've ever been through. You made it through that last one. What makes you think that you can't make it through this one as well?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like you think you said. You know, it's like you said. It's you're definitely going to handle it different, especially if it's your first time, right? So you handle it different when you were 16, 17, 21. Shit, there's probably some people in their upper 20s. You know what I'm saying? And then how you would handle it when you are in your, you know, later on in life after you experienced it and you're like, oh, I made it through that. You know, I think that's what people forget, and you know, and I think that's what people don't value. People forget the value of the importance of life, right? And having the opportunity to live another day, you know, in human form, right? And so I think people forget, you know, and I think we
And
got to
then
do that.
and then you look back on some situations in hindsight, and you're like, man, I dodged a bullet. You know, because after you leave that, you know, you get out of that emotional space. You know, you really start sitting back, you know, reflecting and you know taking things, you know, from the situation and learning and growing. It's like you know a lot of stuff is revealed to you. So I mean, yeah, you know, in the moment, you know, folks may feel like, yeah, you know, my whole world is just crashing down on me. You know, the universe is against me. Uh, you know, Mercury is in retrograde, and this is why that happened, and you know, different things. And then at the end of the day, you look back, you're like, damn, I really got lucky. You know, so I mean, like you said, you know, I mean, things have happened before. You know, things will happen again. You know, you always, you know, the situations you can always recover from.
Yeah, for sure. That is a fact, and that's how I look at it. I mean, and again, we all have our grieving processes. You know what I'm saying? Let's put the time limit because there is no time to not. There's no time that you know is limited just for grieving, right? It's just you got to go through those motions, and I get it, right? And you got to take care of self,
Yeah,
but then also just remembering that you know this too shall pass.
exactly.
So
You
I'm
gotta
strong.
move on. You gotta move on. And you know, I mean, you were talking about, you know, earlier, you know, primal passions, and you know, I mean, folks driving, you know, 700 miles to address things, and you know, I think all that comes out of, you know, how people handle situations because it is wild that someone can make, you know, a 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour drive and still have the same, you know, animosity and heat and passion because one would think that during that 3 or 4 hours, man, it's a lot of time to sit there and, you know, come to your senses,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
you know.
at some point, you got to hear at least a Tevin Campbell song or something. You know what I'm saying? You got to hear, you know, or a Ralph Tresvant song or something. You got to hear something. You know what I'm saying? That puts you in a different space. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even if you listen to, you know, 3-6, you know what I'm saying? Don't Save Her, you know, whatever that shit is, you know what I'm saying? It's gotta be stuff
Something.
that puts you, it's gotta be a song that puts you in your right mind. You know what I'm saying? That makes you think like, man, is this really worth it? Because whatever I'm about to do next, is it really gonna be worth it? Like that video, I don't know if you saw it, but you know, that chick that was on top of the dude's car and the dude was closing the door on her arm.
Nasty.
And you know, dude actually started driving off. Now, what happens if he stops real quick? She flies off the front. Her arm's still stuck in the door. She now done ripped her arm off, and now you gonna be associated. You know what I'm saying? Like, what
Yeah.
the fuck makes you not think? You know what I'm saying? Like your actions are gonna have something, and you gotta think about it in a split second. Your whole world can just change.
Like that.
You know, so it makes you think. And again, we all go through. We all make decisions. We all make poor decisions. We are
Yeah,
human.
yeah. It's happened to everybody.
Everyone, and I know I make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna continue to make mistakes. You know, hopefully I don't make the same ones twice. You know, but that's just where that is.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's a tough
I don't know, people wild now. People are definitely wild now. Like I said, you know, I think people are just forgetting what tomorrow is and just being able to, you know, hopefully having that opportunity to see in that next breath. You know,
one. Yeah.
so
And this is true, man. And talking about bad decisions, man. And I hate to say it, you know, because one of my most entertaining and favorite, football players. I mean, Marshawn Lynch. It's I saw his mugshot, man. He got arrested for DUI, and that picture that he took did not do him any justice. My
Yeah.
man looked like his eyes were about his eyelids were about as thin as a sheet of paper, man. So I'm hoping that that situation works out for him, man. A reminder to everyone, quick PSA. I mean, if you've had a few drinks, man, it's so many options to get home. Especially if you're in a major city, man. Uber, taxi, metro. I wouldn't recommend a scooter because nobody needs to be hammered on a scooter, trying to get around. I mean, that's putting your life at risk. So if you've been drinking, leave the scooters and the little segways and the bikes, leave all that stuff alone because it's not going to end well. But
Yeah.
like I said, that picture, did not do him any justice. And I was just laughing, when somebody posted an interview. They were at like a training camp, and Marshawn Lynch, walked up in an interview. And my man was real. I mean, he holds, no cut cards. I mean, this is going back all the way to the hey, I'm here just so I don't get fined.
Yeah.
I mean, he is, who he is, but it just sucked to see my man in that position, man. So I'm hoping things work out for him in that situation. I'm glad that he wasn't hurt, nobody else was hurt. That of course would make the situation a million times worse. But just like the commercial says, man, drink responsibly.
No, facts. Like you say, it's one of those things, man. I hope everything turns out well. He's a good brother, man. He does a lot of stuff in his community. You know what I'm saying? He's probably just having a good night. And sometimes that gets beside. Sometimes it gets away from you sometimes. But it's a good dude there. So hopefully everything is on the up and up for him. And I hope nothing but the best for the good guy.
Exactly, man.
No.
Exactly. Hey, man, before we get out of here, man, anything else on your chest this week? What's going on this weekend?
I don't really got nothing on my chest, like I said, man. I think I just started releasing it. Like, you know what? It ain't that serious, right? I think this weekend was a reminder, and I'm just looking forward to what else is in store. You know what I'm saying? I know we got good interviews coming up. We got to interview the next episodes, and then got a couple trips, trying to get the little one, still back out there, get some more stamps on her passport. So we cooling, man. I think she got more freaking flyer miles than I do. So, just getting out there. So that's about it, man. What you got?
Oh man, well, hey, first and foremost, man, I have a slight confession, a little embarrassing story, man.
You are hoochie daddy.
You may be able to relate. Oh no, this may be right up there with the hoochie daddy shorts, man. I was pushing the envelope. I was taking a shower, and my soap body wash was running a little low. I'd known it for about a week, and I delayed in switching out. Man. I was trying to get every ounce out the bottle, man. Midway through my shower, man, I ran out of body wash, and I had to use my lady's body wash. Which was not a good feeling, man. I did not want to smell like, Dove, eucalyptus, and, whatever else was, in that bottle, man. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even feel comfortable. And, I had to, confess to her. I was like, look, had a slight incident, ran out of body wash, had to use some of yours, so if you smell half a body and it doesn't, jive with my normal sense. This is this is why. As someone just looked at me with I don't want to say if it was a look of disgust or a look of disappointment or a look of I get it. It just your boy didn't feel comfortable, man. It almost felt like I wanted to go start the process all over again and go re-shower with the new body wash, man. But it was Tallman wasn't comfortable, man. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin.
I mean, it's one of those hidden secrets, man. It's one of those things you got locked in your box, right? Because I think we've all been there, right? We've all been in a place to where we've had to unfortunately go through I won't even say just desperate measures. You gotta make some changes, right? You gotta make it quick, audible, and so I'm pretty sure there are a few folks who listen to this that have also done the same. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever used the ladies' deodorant?
No, never. That would never happen. Because always buy in the 3-pack. So I always got one locked and loaded. But when you're in the shower, you're in a vulnerable position because the other body wash was by the sink in a drawer. So I mean now you gotta make that death walk, with slippery feet, trying to hop out the shower and make it across the room and get that. And that's that, that, that's a big risk. I mean, so it takes a lot of effort to do that. But never in life have I used a significant other's deodorant. That's just something I cannot check that box, man. Can't do it. I mean, is it something you want to say, man? Is it something you want to get off your chest while I'm in this vulnerable state?
No, I just feel that, like I said, I feel that there are certain circumstances where you have to, make a decision, right? And it's like, all right. So you're gonna tell. So hold on, real quick. You're gonna tell me you never used Secret before?
Never in my life. Hand to the sky. Never.
Well, I will sit there and say it is pretty strong, so I'm gonna leave it at that, right?
Sounds like you're speaking from personal experience, but we'll let that go, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it at there. Again, like the rest of folks on social media, you can let your mind run and figure that shit out. But I will sit there and say I do believe in their slogan. Strong enough for a man, made for a woman.
Hey, just for his own.
I feel, I feel like certain circumstances you got to do what you got to do. Like,
yeah,
it's just where it's at, right? And so we're gonna leave it at that. But that's really all I got, man. I think I got everything off my chest. I think I'm good. You got a fucking confession hour, got a fucking boner. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm good, man. Again.
Exactly, man. Hey, here we are showing that two young black men can be vulnerable, and express themselves and put themselves out there. Man, I think that's a first for the podcast, and it shows people we are capable of it. So I appreciate you not leaving me out on that branch by myself, man. Even though some things were were said that weren't said, I appreciate the support, man. So thank you.
And that's what we got. We got to support each other. I got you.
Yeah, man. So once again, shout out to Shisha to you. Don't forget you can follow them on IG. You can follow us at In the Bowl Pod on Twitter. In the comments, if we've said something that has evoked a thought or a response, definitely reach out to us in the comments. We'll respond back. And shout out to everybody, who's been commenting and leaving their opinions on things. We appreciate that. Again, we're two highly opinionated individuals, but we also respect and value the opinions of others. So thanks for chiming in with us. And last but not least, don't forget to keep those hookahs clean. After every use, go ahead and rinse it out so it's all set for the next go around. Don't sit there and just leave it with the board in the base and things sitting over here. Just sit. Don't do that, man. Keep your hookahs clean. So once again, appreciate y'all for rocking with us. We will talk to y'all next week.
And as always, click, like, and subscribe.
So 5 Ways Radio.